Welcome back, guys, to Theodesty Podcast with your girl, Word Justice. I'm gonna let some people come into the building. Um, I know you guys see my title. Of course, anything that I come in contact with that I think that you guys should be aware of, I definitely come out and I speak on it. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening as well as having or have had a wonderful day. But yeah, you already know if you're coming into the building and you may be new or you're later on going to view my video, please take the time out to please subscribe. Hit the up like button and notification bells if you enjoy my content. And guess what? Even if you don't, give me one moment, guys. One moment. And even if you don't, um, enjoy the content, please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. But I definitely wanted to jump in and, basically give you guys some updates on certain things that you guys may want to be aware of. And it's just certain things that, we may need to keep in mind. Um, why I say that is because, regardless to what, is so much things going on in the world that how they present it may not be the key of what they're presenting, but under in the underline, if you look beneath the surfaces, is definitely some type of answer or basically them telling on themselves. But like I said, it's always good to be aware and it's always good to have understanding on whatever you may be reading or you may be seeing or coming across. It's always good to just take your time out to just be inquisitive. With that being said, I'm basically, like I said, you guys seen the title. Russia warns Europe will disappear in a nuclear war with Putin if West gives missiles to Ukraine. And mind you, it's a chilling threat that comes after Poland's former foreign minister, Radoslaw Sikorski, told allies they could technically provide the lethal artillery. He has stirred up another nuclear row after claiming Vladimir Putin had violated the Budapest let's say memorandum on security assurance of 1994. Sikashki told Ukrainian channel TV this breach would justify the delivery of nuclear weapons from the West. He suggested it would give Ukraine the opportunity to defend its independence. Ukraine agreed to hand over all nuclear weapons left in the country in the wake of the fall of the Soviet Union. They joined the treaty on the non proliferation of nuclear weapons along with Russia, the US, and the UK. But I'm telling you because it's a Russian name, is Sarkisky, and it's a Russian name, so forgive me, claimed Putin had now broken the terms of deal by invading the country. The Kremlin was not best pleased by his comments, claiming he was antagonizing the already fragile situation. The head of the state of the Russian Federation immediately hit back at the suggestions that were made from Sikinski. He wrote on the telegram, with such disputes the Europeans will have much more serious problems than those they have already faced today: refugees, record inflation, energy crisis. Sokiski is provoking a nuclear conflict in the center of Europe. He doesn't think neither about the future of Ukraine nor about the future of Poland. In, in case and suggestions are fulfilled, these countries will cease to exist, as will Europe as well. So Kunsky and the like are the reason why Ukraine must not only be set free from the Nazi ideology, but also be demilitarized, securing nuclear weapon free status of the country. Furious, reportedly, as we know, is going to be a lot of furious people, reportedly said, and this guy's name, Volodun, also reportedly said Poland's ex foreign minister needs to be forced to undergo psychiatric evaluation, despite Western countries reminding, relent, how can I say this to you guys? Uh, how can I say this to you with you understanding? They're basically reluctant to supply even some conventional weaponry right now. Reluctant, you guys understand. I get a little tongue tied, I got a little West Indian in me, but it's basically to not want to do something or to think twice about even trying to do or attempt to do anything in a situation. So knowing that their weapon, and I'm going to say it again, it's weaponry. Okay, so I have to weaponry it because sometimes when I'm going fast, I get a little tongue tied. The weaponry, Russia has made it clear they will not be beaten by nuclear warfare. At the start of the month, Putin unleashed a hypersonic missile on NATO supply lines inside Ukraine in an attempt to stop arms crossing the border. Missiles were launched from a warship in the Black Sea, which struck the railway tunnel in the Carpathian Mountains. They also earlier teased allies by practicing nuclear missile strikes and chemical attacks on NATO borders. That was soon followed by disturbing warnings from Putin's space chief, who threatened to wipe out half of Europe. Last month, Russia threatened to nuke the UK and Finland in seconds. And I'm these are the things that as you go through the process of just reading to understand, like I'm saying, a lot of these people they're mentioning, forgive me because there are a lot of Russian words and I am not fluent in speaking Russian. So unfortunately, I might just slip up on a few of the pronunciations on how to pronounce how they speak in their wording as far as the Russians speak and spell. So forgive me with that. And I get a little tongue tied, like I said, sometimes when I'm just going fast. But with that being said, with Russia, okay, they're basically letting it be known nobody can mess with us because you mess with us, we damn sure taking y'all out without a doubt. They basically listen, Europe will not exist if they mess around because they're basically saying they have the power and their nuclear bomb is so powerful that it can wipe out more than one country. So now their threat to do what they need to do as far as if Europe don't basically abide by their rules or things that they want to put in place, it will be no more Europe because they telling Europe like, yo, I'm telling you, you would cease to exist. You would no longer, you'll be a mere fragment in the mind of existence of when you hear Europe. So that's how real it is. And you see, Vladimir Putin, he is consistent with his threats. And listen, everything has an underlining something to it. Everything. You know, they put out certain propaganda, but within the propaganda is some valid truth to let you know to be aware of what's going to take place. You just got to take the time out to kind of like read it, double read it 2 or 3 times, and sift out what you think makes sense and doesn't make sense, and be inquisitive about why certain things may be happening. I don't know. I think that we got a lot of shit ahead of us just because this dimension is definitely on a different type of time. As you know, they getting ready to prepare a whole patent for the next upcoming pandemic that we will have because they letting it known. Bill Gates let it be known also. It will happen because they are the ones who's putting it out there. And after they put a virus out there, obviously you guys know they patent that. So it's money being made off of them actually putting out different viruses. And so with that being said, you know, Bill Gates made the statement of if they think that this pandemic that we went through with the supposal, whatever they want to call it, I consider it to be a very you know, the worst case of a flu that you can get, but they have a name for it, and their name is uh the C word. I'm not even gonna go on to say the rest, but the C word. And you guys know what the C word, some of you guys use it as the R word. You already know. So they have basically made the statement that okay, if you guys think that that was something that was horrible and we was forcing y'all to get vaccinated, wait until the next virus hit. And the next virus is supposed to be hitting us in what 2026, 2027, and God knows what the world is going to look like at that timing because we already see where we're heading in 2022 going into 2023, especially with all the murders and trafficking of children and everything that has been the shortage of food, the inflation, the heighten of the gas due to the inflation. So you're basically seeing so much that's happening right now, right before your eyes. And yeah, people are just thinking of it of maybe possibly it's another day of just, you know, a situation happening. Welcome, Puerto Rican 360. I'm happy that you showed up in the building. How are you? I'm gonna take my time on me. I always think let me drop my link. But when we actually look around and we see what this world looks like versus, you know, what your parents may have came from, independent of what year you was born, what you came from to what it is right now. And not for nothing, you got to really focus on what may be the next step. For me, we got to understand we're already in a new world order. It's just what to expect out of that. So it doesn't feel like, oh my God, it's caught off guard because you already mentally started to prepare yourself for what may come. Now, this shit right here with Russia, if Russia could basically say, look, you fuck around Europe, we will wipe you the fuck out. Don't get it twisted and excuse my language, but that's basically what Vladimir Putin threat is. Oh, we ain't playing no games. Like y'all already tried to play this shit with Ukraine and all that. Like we not playing. So if they have that incentive and Russia and China are connected, and yes, they say that we are allies to China, but we are truly allies to Korea. China, Korea, big difference. China already has whatever personal vendetta that they have, which for me, if you go deep down the rabbit hole, I feel like a lot of that was designed to put in place so they could put the perception out to the people that it's something else versus what the eyes are really telling you that you're seeing. So, for me, like I said, go read up on it. You can do your own research, read up on it, get vast awareness of what's happening, like I said, in your surroundings. And if you're not aware of it and you want to find out more information, you can definitely go into Google. You could put in Russia warns Europe will disappear and then read it yourself and try to get your understanding to what you believe that Vladimir Putin is basically trying to insinuate. At least for my perception, I'm always looking a little bit deeper. And some may say it's conspiracy theorists, however it goes. It's still my thought, it's still my opinion, and I still love to share it. Reason being, because when you meet like minded people, they also may have an eye opener through research or coming across something that they didn't hear about that they're now hearing about to bring awareness of what's happening and what's about to be in the works because the agenda is already set in place. Now we're just going through the process of their agendas. Now, how do you collapse an agenda? That's something I guess we're still working towards. I ain't gonna lie. We definitely, as a people, are still working towards that. But like I said, I want you guys to take the time out to do your own research when it comes down to, you know, these things that's happening. They're not happening for no reason. In fact, they're happening to basically, how can I say to you guys? Um, Cloud your mind, make you focus on what they're saying is going on and what could happen. But in the process of them doing that, it's truth all mixed up in there. You just got to figure out what that truth may be. And that's where I'm at. I'm figuring out where the truth may be when I may look at certain things, read certain things, or even when I do research. I'm always wondering why. Because it's very important to always be inquisitive. We spoke about sex trafficking earlier, which was a very, very good conversation because we spoke about the churches and how they represent themselves, but yet there's so many evil things going on in these churches. And guys, forgive me because I am definitely eating on a fresh dipped chocolate chip, okay? And I'm enjoying it, but it's the healthy type, but I'm enjoying it. For me, I just want you guys to know, I don't know when the time is going to be near for this dimension to be over, but it's coming to a point where it's almost near because a lot of things are occurring, and soon enough, a lot of catastrophic things will begin to occur. And that's why when I talk about just the little things, don't worry about Russia and Europe. Worry about the fact of yes, they do have nuclear missiles that can wipe out this whole shit. If they chose to, I believe they could touch a button and this whole shit goes up. Puerto Rican 360 says she's coming. Okay, I'm here, darling. You already know. But for me, I'm always nervous. I think about these things in a broader aspect. I ask the universe to not allow the children, innocent children, not to feel the pain when that time comes. But how can I say that when they're already enduring pain and they already know what pain looks like from young, young ages? And it's so heartbreaking to know like we have an opportunity to try to make change and develop our own shit so we could be able to live. I mean, you got these people that they already know what is coming. So you got them all over trying to look for a place to habitate and create a new world on this planet, on another planet, if so be it. I mean, I don't know for me, I read some stuff dealing with, them going into Mars and all of that. I don't know how much of that I believe because when you understand certain things, you begin to feel like you're living in an illusion. So I truly, you know, don't know what they are doing when they decide to send things that what I consider to be out of space. Um, they're obviously not letting us know. I do believe that there probably are extraterrestrial beings, but overall, I know that they have a plan, whether it's deep down below or far, far up on top. We definitely ain't a part of that plan when shit hits the fan. So we definitely need to create a plan for ourselves to be okay. And let's be real, it's going to be casualties. It will be casualties. But who's to say that we cannot try to generate a way of life and a new way of living right now, realizing everything that's happening all over the world? That's all I'm saying. You feel me? That's the only reason I be coming around to even speak on certain things, just because I want us to think a little deeper. I want us to dive a little bit deeper in thought, right? And I like to dive deep in my thoughts when I come across certain things. Welcome, Kane2 TV. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate you guys pulling up. The link is in the chat. I don't know how you guys feel about hearing it as far as, the Russia threatening Europe, um, letting Europe know you'll be not in existence if you mess around type shit. Like for me, like I said, I take out Russia and I take out Europe, I take out that two countries, and I'm just thinking in my mind, oh, you guys have the ability to just take shit out and wipe shit out in a blink of an eye. Like we don't even have a say so. We don't even have time to recollect or do anything if you guys was to press that button and send this shit all up. Like for real. Um, like I said, that shit is crazy to me because I was like thinking beyond that, like, wow, this is where we're at. And not to say this hasn't happened, because I feel like I've always heard that life is like it goes around in a circle, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of things that happened back then is just almost like a repeatal, just in a different era, pretty much. Um, so that shit for me, like I said, was just obviously like, what? Okay, y'all giving it up like that. Y'all already have y'all plans in motion. Y'all already know what y'all doing. The agenda been in place. You know what I'm saying? You guys could use these two countries as puppets or whatever to allow our minds to be engaged in the bullshit of what you're saying. But like I said, within that bullshit, if you could sift through some of that bullshit, allow your mind to be open to really see what the underlying shit is. One must watch above majestic. I'm gonna go check that out. I would love for you to come and give me a little if you want to stay in the chat, anything you want to do, but a little backstory on Majestic. Hold on. I'm choking. I am choking, guys. Mm-mm-mm. It is not good to be chewing and talking. But I would definitely, for myself, I'm gonna go check that out and watch it. Like I feel like everything that's been put in the movies has been a telltale sign of things that we have been able to see right now happening. A lot of it, down to the computers, everything. So I definitely know for myself, like all you got to do is look because they're showing it to you. Growing up, I remember watching this robot called Johnny Five. And now realizing that that robot that they were showing on the movie, Johnny Five, that robot will soon be a robot of the future. Like they was already telling you back then what the future was already looking like because they already had what their aim was. Absolutely, Justice. I'm eating at the moment. I'm trying to tell you, listen, I have to follow your rules as far as that goes because when you're eating and chewing, you can choke. You can definitely choke, and that is not good if you're choking in the middle of a laugh because that's what was going on with me. I was like, oh my God, I can't catch myself. Hold on, guys. Give me a moment. But definitely take your time. Um, yeah, I mean, even with we talked about it earlier, just with the earth settling and so much things coming above earth that was underground for so long or underwater for so long lets you know that we are in a time that we definitely got to get on the move. Me and Puerto Rican 360, we talked about container homes. I'm fascinated about people who live off the grid. And a lot of people that chose to live off the grid, they designed themselves through creativity beautiful tiny homes. I mean, even down to the vehicles that they probably had and whatever. But when you even look at a lot of people now that's realizing like, now we ain't trying to be here and they're trying to go far as they're trying to go. Question that. Why are you trying to leave and go far and be off grid? Like, why is it? Because guess what? We are we are and will soon be a part of the robots. All that shit that we see in the movies and all that, that shit is going to come to life. Even down to the vaccines that was been given and all of that. Okay, I know a lot of people may consider it a conspiracy theory or may not agree, but I don't expect you to agree because it's just my opinion and I like to voice my opinion. How you receive it will be on you, but it does not mean I still won't voice it. So, with that being said, with the vaccines that they want to distribute, especially after this pandemic situation that was going on. You can't tell me you ain't got people walking around here with some type of half something. They subhuman. They ain't all human, but they subhuman, okay? I'll be there shortly. Yes, definitely take your time. For me, I just was like, let me come on because I've seen this and I definitely just wanted to engage and talk about it because, like I said, it's just bringing awareness to what propaganda is being put out there. But question, my people, please question why is that propaganda being put out there like that? Yes, it is to distract you, but a part of the distraction is truth. And that's what I say, believe it or not. I also want to talk about a situation that happened. The rise of the machine. Yes, Kane Tube TV. When you come on, I want to take a run back on this topic because I definitely want to hear your insight on what you feel when it comes down to the propaganda that they have put out there. And like you said, the rise of the machine, but also just understanding that one button, or do you even believe that one button could wipe us all out? I'll wait for you to come up and let us know. But I know that you have some good insight, and I know you definitely have an opinion on that. And I am here for it. Now, for those people that are from New York that live in the area, I want you guys to please be aware. I'm talking about the five boroughs right now, and I'm going to dive a little deeper with other things. It was a backyard party that took place in Brooklyn. Three people ended up shot. Reason why I'm bringing this story to you guys because, yes, summertime is here. And when summertime comes around, people start feeling themselves. They start smelling themselves. They start smelling all up under their armpits, all between their butt cracks, and all types of nonsense. Okay. And the devil schmidt comes out in a heightened. Please be aware of what's going to take place in these little backyard parties and these clubs. I know everybody like a good party. I know because I like a good party. I like a good party myself. I'm a more family oriented partier, but I like a good party. You know what I'm saying? So I know you guys like a good party and shit like that. You may want to go and go to the spot to a little after hour, whatever have you. For me personally, right now, guys, I would not recommend it because the death rate for what's going to happen for this summer is going to be ridiculous, especially with backyard parties. I know when you think of a backyard party and you tell yourself, look, I'm going into my people's party or whatever. I ain't got no issue. You don't know who have an issue with who because it be a whole lot of shit that surrounds it and it escalates and you may definitely be unaware of everything, but a bullet doesn't have your name on it. Trust and believe that. So really think about your choice. Even if you say, oh, I'm gonna make sure it got more than one exit, it really don't matter because when people start hearing gunshot, it's like a stampede. Shit start getting crazy. Really think about if it's gonna be worth your life. I mean, for me personally, I'll party by myself. I'll turn on some music and get me a nice little drink and have a good time on my own or with family members, in the comfort of my home. Right now, I do think it's dangerous. Think twice about going out there this summer to really party. Your intentions may be to have a good time, but just think about you going to have a good time and not making it back home to your loved one or your children. With that being said, also guys, even if you don't live in the boroughs and you're living in Chicago, you live in South Carolina, you're living in Virginia, you're living in LA, you're living in California, wherever you may be, you guys need to be aware of that also where you guys are because the death toll is happening everywhere. But if you can maintain your safety, then do so. Parties will always be there. Parties will always be there. It's been there for a long time. Sometimes you just got to keep your circle tight and party amongst you and yours. You know what I'm saying? Reason why I say that is because, like I said, the death toll is not only happening within my area, within the five boroughs, but it's happening everywhere. And as the summer's getting hot, you got a lot of people smelling themselves. You got a lot of young people, keyword, smelling themselves. They are able to have access to artillery that are deadly. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are young and they shooting to try to gain whatever status. They don't know how they shooting and shit just gets crazy. Like I said, you could be going to have a good time and not expecting not to come back home. But is it worth it when you could just party amongst your own? You know what I'm saying? Don't let outsiders come into where you're at with your family because shit is really, really getting ridiculous. Like, as far as the shootings and all of that, from my understanding, it was three teens that were shot. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, we got the graduation parties for, you know, backyard barbecues and all of that. Be mindful of your kids' parents. If you're gonna do a backyard party for your kids, make sure you know all the parents that's gonna be in attendance. Make sure you know all the kids. Have somebody at the door, security. Unfortunately, these are the measures that you're gonna have to take when it comes down to protecting you and yours. Puerto Rican 360, we lost Big J at a backyard party. You see what I'm saying? Big J, rest in peace. We definitely, and you know, that's why I'm bringing awareness, because as you know, it's at a height and now, and just knowing that younger and younger people ranging from ages of 13 to 18 years old are able to have access to heavy artillery. It's real. These young kids are having guns put into their hands. They really don't know what they're doing with it, but now they're out there to gain a certain amount of status. Now, you as a human being, you out there, yeah, I went to go hang out, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? You ain't know you was going to get hit with a stray bullet at a certain time at a night. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, guys. You guys don't need to be out there in these streets. It ain't got shit out there. You got two options. You either out there getting some, you trying to get some box for the males, or you know, the females are trying to get some money from the niggas, so they try to sell themselves. You know what I'm saying? According to people, ain't nothing going on but open legs after a certain hour, and a lot of killing and robberies too, not just open legs. I mean, open legs is definitely on the platter at a certain hour of the night, but guess what? There's also a lot of death at a certain hour of the night, also. And as you guys know, it happens in our areas very, very frequently. And like I said, because of the young youth of today, you know, they smelling themselves. They think they got shit under control. They want to be known. They want to have bodies under their belt type shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you definitely got to be aware of you and yours if that's not the life that you live in. You know what I'm saying? If you live in a life of a pedestrian, you want to continue to live your life as a pedestrian, then trust and believe me, you want to try to stay as safe as you can make yourself stay. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. As crazy as it sounds, you can do that and know that you can take those precautionary measures. The reason why I say that is because at least you knew you did the best that you could do to protect yourself and protect your family. Now, can you control a bullet coming through your window? No, you can't, because a young child died recently, you know, sitting at the dinner table eating or whatever. Shooting went on, bullet went through the window, hit the girl in the head. She was dead. That wasn't nothing she suspected. She wasn't out there doing nothing. She was sitting at the table simply having dinner. But that goes to show you how real the gun violence and how real the shootings and how, listen, it's so much different shit that's getting real out here that you just, your mind is gonna be blown. But this is our reality. This is our reality. You got to, you want to be safe than sorry, but guess what? You may not even be safe in your own home, but at least be satisfied that you knew that you tried your best to always maintain protection for yourself. Ultimate K Man, welcome to the building. You already know I always appreciate when you pull up on me.
Peace, chat.
Go.
So, Justice, bring me up to speed as to what's going on here. You know, I was listening in the chat.
Yes, of course. I know you was in the chat and you was spitting some, you know, jewels like you normally do in the chat, but I'm gonna definitely bring you up to speed. Like I was telling them earlier, the first thing we were discussing was Russia basically saying that if anything proceeds with Europe and Ukraine, as far as Europe having assistance with Ukraine and all of that, then it will be no more Europe. They are willing to set off a nuclear missile that will wipe out Europe. That is the propaganda of right now that they have put out there. But you know, like I said, I always feel like it's a bigger picture. So what you may see the propaganda is, because that's just to capture your eyes for the moment.
Absolutely. And see, what people don't realize, or they tend to forget, that Russia is one of the big superpowers of the East, along with China, along with Iran. You know, all three of these nations that I just named are all capable of nuclear missile activity. It's only like four real main superpowers that have that nuclear missile capability, U.S. being one of them, and the other three that I just mentioned. So with Russia threatening to wipe out the rest of Europe, see what people tend to forget, at one time, the whole Europe was mainly consisted of Russia, like the western part of Europe, coming towards like Great Britain and Scotland and all that. A lot of that land was actually considered Russian land. Like, from Germany back, yeah, a lot of that was all Russia. And then, Russia broke off from Ukraine broke off from Russia and became its own nation. But in all actuality, it's still Russia. So, as far as them up here threatening people, like, with this nuclear missile activity, it could be all propaganda, mass distraction for whatever else is going on. Because, they throwing all types of shit at the wall, hoping that it stick.
And I think that this is definitely one of them, but I also think that it's just something for us to be aware of. Now, I asked you a question while you was in the chat. So my question was to you originally, do you feel like they have a button that they could press at a drop of a dime that could wipe out this whole shit in a blink of an eye?
Uh, yeah, yeah. But see, they wouldn't be willing to push that button to wipe out 7.5 billion people. Because if they so happen to do that, by them pushing the button, they put themselves in danger, or maybe they might have a bunker, underground bunker, or a deep bunker, or whatever base, or dumb, deep bunker. But even if they do that and they wipe out, say, the rest of the world, right, just pushing the button thing, right? Who is going to be around to say repopulate the world to manageable numbers to help rebuild the world from all the carnage and anarchy from, let's say, a nuclear warfare?
That's true. That's true. I can agree with that. Do you think that they will do it to, or do you think that they have the ability to do it to certain countries?
Yes. Why I say that, Justice? Because like in World War II, right, when the U.S. had to bomb Japan, they used what they would call the atom bomb. At that time, the
Hmm.
atom bomb was one of the most powerful bombs that we had here in this world, in this world. You had the atom bomb, you had the hydrogen bomb, and you got the nuclear bomb. And these three bombs are like real powerful that can really cause some real catastrophic damage and take out a large landmass.
Mm.
The United States dropped the bomb on Japan with the Hiroshima Nagasaki thing.
Hmm.
You should have seen the damage that it done to those Japs.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever heard of the Chernobyl experience, where that nuclear plant blew up in Chernobyl, and all those people came out with radioactive
I heard of
deformities.
something. I heard of something like that. I didn't know the in-depth details behind what took place, but I heard it in reference while somebody was speaking.
Yeah, what makes rain, hail, snow, and
But I
earthquakes?
feel like
In the
it's so
short form, the devil dealing with high explosives.
hmm.
That's what make rain, hail, snow, and earthquake. In short form, is the devil experimenting with high explosives. So me saying that is all 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 their time of existence on the planet Earth. They've been dealing with some real
Hmm.
dastardly and destructive ways on how they eradicate said people from the planet Earth.
Mm-mm-mm.
Them dealing with,
And this is the thing. I agree with that 100% because I feel like you're seeing it, but in so many different ways that they do things.
right. I'm like, who in their right mind, right? Let's talk a little here. Who in their right mind, right, would make something that's as destructive, deadly, and powerful as a bomb for good use? You know what I'm saying? Somewhere on the
Nobody,
planet Earth,
unless you have bad intentions.
huh?
No, I said unless you have bad intentions.
Right, unless one has bad intentions to do some real serious harm. Okay?
Hmm.
Like when at one time in the planet there was no handguns. They came up with a way to make a firepower or a firepower weapon where you can hold it handheld. They came with that because all the old guns was war cannons, ship cannons and war cannons. You put the bullet or lead in there, and you had to light it in the back, or you pull the string or whatever. However, they had the mechanism, and that shit shot one big ass cannonball bullet. And they come up with a way or a method to where they can make it more handheld or portable, and it shoot instead of one big cannon, a whole bunch of small little itty bitty cannons.
Do you think that they're putting out certain propaganda because they are basically building life somewhere else? Like they're literally working behind the scenes to have habitation somewhere else if they were to decide to destroy this world that we're in right now. What's your
Um,
opinion on
Actually, yes. I'm gonna be honest with you. See, the Earth is a very beautiful place because we have a universe within a verse.
that? Hmm.
Okay, he said to say this. There's a lot of underground, deep, deep underground. Like the center of the Earth is very, very deep, and you got other suns that's in the center of the Earth. You have other realities, other parallels and existences within the center or the deep inner core of the planet Earth. You understand what I'm saying? So as far as them
Hmm.
having a setup or some type of a rainy day plan, as far as having habitation
Hmm.
somewhere else, they listen. They've been doing that shit since the early 1900s in terms of finding other habitable land to live. Like, did you know, like down in Antarctica, under all that ice, they have geothermal energy, and there's parts of that ice over there in that land that's ice free and very habitable. Like when the Germans escaped after World War II and they went down to Antarctica, they found out this stuff. In 1947, a guy by the name of Dr. Richard Byrd, he was like an admiral for the Navy. They went down there to find out and investigate what's going on down here. We heard the Germans escape down here. Hitler ain't dead. He's down here in Antarctica. We're gonna go down there and find what's going on. So they went down there, and when they got down there, they said that they was under attack by these otherworldly spacecrafts. Okay, people don't realize that these alien or extraterrestrial beings, they've been here many a times to the planet. And there's been many of different nations that they gave technological information to and certain powers in exchange for their citizens. In 1951, Eisenhower signed away our rights as human beings with the Roswell experiment and them graves that was over there in Area 51. Okay, Eisenhower he signed the last deal. Then there's been speculation and some allegation that even George Bush and them would had alien help. Like a lot of people don't know that there's aliens in the White House walking around in humanoid form.
I feel like you are so right because I came across, and this was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It was a black man. Currently, right now, he is deceased. He was assassinated, but he basically worked as, what you considered a go boy. But in his process of being that go boy, he paid great attention to everything that was happening around him, and certain things they would tell him to go and fetch. I'm sorry, that's my puppy Cookie. Certain things they would, go ask him to fetch as far as paperwork or faxing over stuff. And, although he wasn't supposed to peek or read anything, his mind being so inquisitive, he just did. He did a video, um, which, like I said, it dated back like in 1970 something. And he spoke on the reason why he's doing the video is because he wants to bring awareness to the fact that there are extraterrestrial beings that are here, and they are the ones that hold the power and the key to opening up so many portals that's been locked. And the president at that time, but any president, they have all this information that everything is coded or whatnot. But after he spoke on knowing for a fact of there being extraterrestrial beings and what the agenda was and how much information that they were getting, and it was just like so deep as he was going in. A couple, maybe a year after that, he was assassinated after making that video. But he spoke on that. He was just like a go boy, but he just was alert on everything that was happening. And then he said, like, he felt like he had to be, you know, on point. Some people look at it as, you're invading privacy. You was there to do a job. You wasn't supposed to be looking at classified documents, as they will call it. But those classified documents held so much. And so even at the government that we look at, that they act like they're so well versed in so many things, it's not that way at all. Allegedly, as they would say, right? Allegedly. But like I'm gonna say, this is my opinion, so I'm gonna state my opinion. But you guys could call it what you want. I'm gonna still say it. So Ultimate Caveman, I mean, with extraterrestrial beings, they even talked about it the other day. Like, it's extraterrestrial beings in the Milky Way, and they have created civilization, and now they're feeling like they're getting hostile because these government officials are doing things that's messing with what they have created in outer space in the Milky Way. What do you think about that? Do you believe like the extraterrestrial beings are definitely feeling some type of way or have some type of hostility towards humans? What we consider ourselves to be, because we probably extraterrestrial to them. Who knows?
Uh, I honestly believe that there's many different species. Now, as far as these
Mm,
so-called extraterrestrial beings that are here in our existence, in our Earth realm, I'm not sure how many different species there are. But I know I heard at one time that we had the Greys here, and then we had the Vril, like VRIL, Vril people. Those are the lizard species. Then they
mhm,
saying that you got these like 9 foot tall lizard type of alien beings, and those are the ones that's helping, like some of the superpowers, like Germany and America. They in these deep underground military bases, or dumps as they call them. There's like I honestly feel like there's more than at least 11 different species here on the planet that we don't even know about. They keep a lot of shit hidden to the naked eye, to the public eye, because a lot of people wouldn't be quite ready for the truth, because the truth hurts. The truth hurts. B, also it could put mankind or the plan that they may have made with these certain superpowers in jeopardy.
I mean that's definitely a fact. Because imagine if you knew what the truth actually is, then a lot of shit will go down
You know,
because of
right? A lot
a
of
lot of
people
stuff
out
you.
here are afraid of truth. A lot of people afraid to stand in their truth. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people afraid to take accountability or responsibility for their actions, and that's the truth.
Yeah, but I think that's the biggest issue, not being able to take accountability for the choices and the decisions that you choose to make in your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
You know,
I think that's a big thing that we lack 100%.
absolutely, Joe. You know, like we as a large 5% nation, we have like what you call a number system. We break down the three populations of the world. You have the 85% of the population who's dumb, deaf, and blind, who's savages in pursuit of happiness, who's unrighteous and living a beast way of living. You know what I'm saying? You could just tell them anything. Those are the ones that's walking around with the blinders on their eyes, the ones that's dealing in cognitive dissonance. If your favorite celebrity didn't mention it on TV or your favorite news anchorman or whatever, it ain't right and exact. It ain't the news. Then you got what you consider the 10%. 10% of the population are those who know the fucking truth, but they rather distort and contaminate the truth and sell it to you for a profit. So, okay, who's selling you the truth or who's selling you the news as a profit? So I'll let that sink in for a second. All right. Then you got 5% of the population who has knowledge of self, meaning that you know what's going on. It don't have nothing to do with being in any faction or part of any group. It's just that you have knowledge of self that you see clearly through your third eye, based off the knowledge and wisdom that you've manifested for yourself through life's journey.
Mhm.
Okay? 5% of the nation is the poor righteous teachers. That don't necessarily mean you have to be a part of any faction. If you got knowledge of self, you got knowledge of self. Period. Dot. Knowledge is knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? So we are the
Mhm.
poor righteous teachers. Our job is to try to wake up the 85% of the population about themselves and what's really going on that the 10% isn't really telling.
Facts.
You know?
I agree.
That's what's going on out here. We got a lot of people, Justice, that aren't going to go. And they knew this already. They knew this when they made these deals and they came here to our earth existence, that everyone is not going to fall under the spell. They tried it 2 years ago with that COVID shit. That was one of the tests of the 2030 agenda, because it happened in 2020. They got 10 years. We got 10 years worth of bullshit. It's only going to get worse before we reach the 2030 agenda.
I agree. And I mean, for me, I already see so many different things that are in effect. You know what I mean? I definitely
I'm
do.
like, just to be real with you and shit, Justice, and not to go off subject, but just to
Mhm.
add on this little tidbit of information. People tend to forget if you go to Egypt, right, and
Mhm.
you go in those pyramids and you go into those tombs and this and that, and you look at some of the ancient hieroglyphs and art on the wall. Some of those people are green beings and different colors, just like with Vishnu and Kali and all these Hindu gods. Why are these gods different colors? Because that was their interpretation and depiction of aliens or outer or extraterrestrial beings that may have came to them at that time. Who do you think gave the Egyptians the technology on how to build those pyramids? Okay, people have been trying for years and years to reduplicate the actual architectural structure of these pyramids and can't do it.
Mm,
You
mm,
know what I'm
mm,
saying?
mm.
Who you think gave the Egyptians the technology, how to build it? They had spacecrafts back then, one man aircrafts before they came with the technology how to make a commercial jet line. So this knowledge has always been around for years. They've always been interacting with this planet for years.
I mean, of course. I mean, right now they still trying to figure out. These archaeologists. that travel to exact such places as Egypt is still trying to figure out how they even were able to build the pyramid and why they built the pyramid that they the way they did, and the shape and
Right.
etc. And they, for me, I feel like they obviously, you're going to go out there and do your analyzation and put your theory to whatever you think may have took place. But the one thing that I know that, if we go deep into it, the hieroglyphs tells you a story if you're able to understand it,
Right.
because the hieroglyph shows you like the spaceship and all of that. Like, and these are from way back then, and it's showing you through the drawings that they did on the walls that's embedded in that concrete, the way that it is, the whole story behind how they were able to even come up with a lot of the technology that's being used right now. And people don't even realize the technology that's being used right now was already being used back then, just in a different way.
That's right. Because nothing new under the sun, Justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word.
Hmm.
Like that's like if you went somewhere and you discovered a place or whatever. That place
Hmm.
always has been there already. It just didn't appeal or appear to you in that form. So always has, always will be. So with the knowledge and technology, it's old. It's new to us, but old to them.
Yes, because it's been here before. And it comes down to when your parents tell you, like, oh, I seen that before, I did that before, right? That's just like the same thing. So, I mean, I caught that understanding right away. But I think that when your mind is open to receive and not fear the unknown, then you basically gain that capability to keep on wanting to learn more and search deeper to have a better understanding of what is actually going on and what messages that was actually being said to you this whole time. Because for me, even when, example, you say go look at Majestic, I'm sure when I go look at it, it's a message in there that basically has been displayed, but in so many ways. But now when I go watch the movie now, it's so in detail that I'm probably going to be able to catch what that message is, to be able to see it in what the reality is right now, or what reality I'm living in, pretty much, right? When you look at certain things from back then with the Simpsons, all these predictions with the Simpsons, you know what I'm saying? It just takes you back into all of that. Now, at that time and when I was young, no, I wasn't thinking like that. I'm thinking like that now because my eyes are opening to so many different things and understanding it's a hidden message in everything. But you have to be willing to receive and listen. And I mean, I can't even, you just got to be able to listen. That's the key thing. Just listen and look, like really and truly, in order to receive, I mean, in my opinion, at least that's what I did. And even now, I'm still like, I question everything down to whatever I'm going to put in my mouth is a goddamn question, like, not for nothing. And this is where we're at in this society, in this world. And if we're going to be like that, then we need to be aware of everything on a 360-degree swivel, everything, you know? So it's always just a pleasure when I'm able to converse and get knowledge from others that have already seen or experienced or did their research, because it definitely causes me to even go and do more research so I can be well versed in certain things also. But for me, like I said, I'm a trigger person. So it's like when certain things that I come across that it's like, oh shit, really? Like, damn, because you know the plot and the plan or whatever, it's like, all right, let me go out here and let me put it out there and let me see what understanding my people have to give me. You know what I'm saying? And Ultimate K Man, that's why I appreciate, because you come in with that understanding of, yeah, we know that this is propaganda because we understand the bigger picture of everything. And the bigger picture is whatever they've been choosing to do this whole time. But that's why I asked you certain questions regarding, like, do you feel like they're doing what they're doing and throwing out the propaganda right now because initially they're trying to find other places to habitate and build new land and build up whatever they need to build up, you know what I'm saying? And even with your thoughts of just telling me, like, yeah, for me, I thought the same way. There's always something underlining. Now, it's up to you to want to dig deeper, you know what I'm saying, and not just let somebody tell you some shit from the surface level and you just be like, okay. But like I always say, and I think we always been promoting, just do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Go do it, research it yourself. So like Ultimate K Man, um, you've seen that I was talking about the backyard parties. A lot of shootings that's been happening. As it's getting hot, there's a lot of backyard parties for graduations and proms and etc. Birthday parties, you name it. It's gonna be going down this summer. But because of the guns that's out here and the amount of young people that are able to have the guns to their access, do you feel like it's a good idea that people decide to even go out and enjoy themselves as normal, or even allow their children perhaps to go out to backyard parties or anything of the sort? Like, what's your feeling on that? I'm sure that you Brooklyn down, so I already know that and you hear a lot of things that occurred, so I'm sure you got wind of the shooting that happened in Brooklyn, New York over here, and 3 people were shot, and there were teams that were involved in the shooting.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as with this whole thing, like with these mass shootings and all that. I mean, I just want to position this to the chat and for those who are listening. I want to just put this out there real quick before I continue on. Y'all have to think about this real clearly. Ever since, say, late 70s, early 80s, where's all these guns coming from in a lot of these urban areas across the United States? Because it's hard enough to get a fucking job, sometimes hard enough to eat, but guns are very accessible. Shit, a lot of gun stores won't even let you in. So where's all these guns coming from where the average savage can just pick up a gun at leisure, to cause genocide or pain upon himself and his people? That's what I wanted to position. Where do you think all the guns came from? Because we don't own Colt. We don't own Smith and Wesson. We don't own these manufacturers that put out these products. So as far as these shootings this summer, y'all have to think about something. Ever since this so-called president has been in office, it's been the same rhetoric, the same ticket from when he was a vice president in office. So that's what people see. People out here have a short-term memory. You know what I'm saying? Some people live day to day and they forget about past history. And what they tell you about past history is doomed to repeat itself. So we're dealing with the same jargon that we was dealing with 8 years ago when he was the vice president. So you have to look at that. When we had the last president in Trump, we didn't have those mass shootings like that. We didn't have war with other countries. We didn't have this gas hike the way it is. People out here killing themselves to fill up their goddamn tank. We didn't have no food shortage. A lot of American companies were coming up during the time of his presidency. But that's what people tend to forget. People always want it a certain way, or they got to have it like this and that. But when something is really good for you, because you may not have knowledge of what's good for you, because you're too busy partying, you're too busy being distracted. When one goes to a party all the time, that is a form of distraction, because you're going to a party, not going there to conduct business unless you're dealing in that type of business. But you go there to have a good time, to mix and mingle with your friends or maybe new friends. And that in itself, family, is a distraction. When you singing and dancing and you caught up in the moment, you don't know what could be going on around you. Hence why a lot of these barbecues and backyard events and regular street outings and this, that, and the third get shot up because people be lacking. You distracted. One that's on point can't be easily distracted.
Well said, Ultimate K Man. I feel like you said everything that needed to be said. I couldn't say it no better than what you have said it. And I hope that everybody took the time out to really receive it. And for those of you who will come in the building and watch the video, like I always say, stick through, listen to the whole video. Take what you need to take, and trust and believe me, you would definitely take something, because there's always food for thought when you come over here to Theodicy Podcast with your girl, Word Justice. Um, I want to thank everybody, like I'm always going to tell you guys, that's always helping my platform grow, always assisting me by coming to check me out and hitting the up like button or pressing that subscribe button, so you'll be notified when I go live to come in and join me in the conversation that we all need to continuously be talking about, because the conversation should always lead to us finding a resolution. I think that we have, as a people, been through so many different forms of sufferation, many different forms of sufferation for a very, very long time. And I think it's about time we kind of just try to work our way out of the sufferation. Because as you know, with the sufferation comes the pain. It's not one without the other. But also realizing when we need to take accountability for our choices, our actions that allow us to still remain in the same spot that we're in and not ever being able to elevate. I mean, I've come to the resolution for myself, you cannot do the same thing expecting a different result. And so I try to model myself behind holding that key jewel that was given to me by my elders, because I don't really hang with people around my age group. Um, I always hang out with older people. It's just something that, I don't know, it's an attraction as far as the mindset goes, because I'm always thirsty to understand and learn. And for some reason, I live in the past. Like in ancient times and shit. I be want to know about ancient times. If I could go back to slavery times and all of that is going down, like I'm one of I'm one of um those type of people that like to engage myself in just always keeping myself understanding where I'm coming from, so I can continue to have a leverage to keep on going. With that being said, I'm always appreciative, and I'm gonna always come and speak on things that I think that is going to open up minds and bring in discussions, so different perspectives can be always heard. And like I tell my people, we got to look at shit from all different angles, and no person's ideal or perspective is stupid. No question is stupid. The only time the question is stupid is when you feel for yourself that what you're about to ask would not make no sense, because you wouldn't even want somebody to ask you it. So all you got to ask yourself, would I want somebody to ask me this question? And once you ask yourself and yourself answer no, then then that's a stupid question. But besides that, no question is stupid when it comes down to you wanting to be educated and wanting knowledge on certain things that you're not aware of to get started on your journey. Um, you know me, I'm gonna have lighter moments, but I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna continue doing what I do, and I'm gonna always feel wealthy as long as you guys come and drop those very powerful jewels on me because I'm always taking it. And I hope those of you, like I say, that comes into the building later on that's gonna view the video, capture some jewels for yourself too and take whatever food that you received for your thought with you to carry you on through your journey. And if it doesn't, it's fine. But tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend because you never know who may need to receive something that is well needed, but you may not know it, you know? So even if you may not pick up on the content and it's not your thing, it's okay. Maybe you have a friend that's going through something, or maybe you have a friend that's like minded. And it's like, oh, go check out Word Justice, the Odyssey podcast. I think you may enjoy her, send them right over. Because for me, it's all about spreading the word. And even if I could spread the word to one and that one could spread the word to another one, then we build it because one plus one is two, and two plus two is four, and it goes on and on and on. And I appreciate the ultimate K man always for coming in and always coming in with such powerful, powerful jewels, always coming in with knowledge because he's been well versed in knowing what this world looks like from living in it and doing his mathematics. And he also did a show recently. So you guys go check out Know Thyself because that gives you the number one thing that he always say, knowledge itself, you know what I'm saying? Knowing thyself. And with that being said, I would love to stay a long period of time, but my daughter has woken up on me. So I'm going to have to attend to her in a minute before she gets a little out of whack. So, Ultimate K Man, I would like you to just, tell the people, where they can find you at if they want to contact you regarding beats. Also Puerto Rican 360 where they could contact her at. And Puerto Rican 360, also she has a few things that she'll be coming up to talk about. So hopefully I'll be going live probably tomorrow. I'm hoping, the universe willing. But yeah, this is the Odyssey podcast with your girl Word Justice, and we got Ultimate K Man in the building. So Ultimate K Man, you can take it away, and let them know where they can find you and Puerto Rican 360 and what you guys definitely have to offer. Because right at this very moment, for those of you who are gonna come in, we gotta support our Black-owned businesses. I got a few other people I also want you guys to check out. But I'm gonna let Ultimate K Man come in, and then I'll end it off with letting you know where you could find a few other people to go check out. You may enjoy, so I'm just spreading the word.
You can catch me on the IG at Ultimate K-Man 7 at IG.com. You can also catch me and my lovely wife, Puerto Rican 360, on Skull Crusher _7 at IG. Also, if you're interested in some fly, ill t-shirts, courtesy of my wife, who else is a freelance photographer in her spare time, and she got some ill fly joints that she be putting on the shirts. And we also do wall canvas art. So if you want a nice tapestry for your crib, something like for backdrop purposes or whatever, you might just want to put in your living room or some shit, feng shui, a little decorum. You can check us at Usale Designs at IG.com. And this is your boy, well, this is your brother, Ultimate Kane Man, because I'm nobody's boy, I'm a grown ass man. This is your brother, Ultimate Kane Man, here with your girl, Word Justice, and the Odyssey podcast. It's always a pleasure you having me, niece. It's always a pleasure coming up here on the show, adding my 2 cents, and possibly sparking the minds of many who are out there listening.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so very much. I would like you guys to also check out the First Lady presenting Auntie's House NYC. She's definitely coming to YouTube. I'm always going to reiterate that she will be on YouTube very soon, guys. She also got some powerful jewels. that she could definitely give you insight. I know she gonna capture the youth because she just has that presence that always is able to just, see something in the young people and, really bring out who they are. So definitely look forward to First Lady presenting Auntie's House NYC. And you can also check her out on Bigo as Astroteric Empress. Yes, Astroteric Empress on Bigo, Bigo, Astroteric Empress, you guys. Um, when I tell you, you guys will have a blast, especially if you are a person that loves music. You're definitely going to enjoy it. Also, if you are a person that enjoys topics on relationships and stuff like that, um, Bigo is where you need to go and find her. And Astroteric Empress is AKA the First Lady Presents Auntie's House NYC. So going over to Bigo actually gives you an opportunity of getting to have like a more personalized understanding of who she is. And then so when you do tune into her on YouTube, you already know what you're getting. I also want you guys to check out Savage Royalty. Savage Royalty without the Y. She is on YouTube right now, and I believe, oh my God, geez, she's on Just Face It. So check out Savage Royalty without the Y on Just Face It. And she does so many different good topics that I know a lot of you will be interested in. I'm interested in a lot of things that she does talk about and engage in. I also want you guys to check out Marta the Smarter. But Marta the Smarter is on Bigo. I'm definitely trying to get her over here to do um, do a little class with me over here with finances and all of that and understanding, just how the social media world actually works. And I have a few other people I'm hoping I'm not missing. Please, you check out Millennial Queens Mimi. Check her out. She'll be doing her thing. Um, Genuine Artistry. Please continue to check her out. She's always giving the intel, especially when she comes through to me. She always gives the intel. And, I'm here, which, I'm here all the time. The Odyssey podcast. I'm like trying to speed it up a little bit, so forgive me, guys. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, Ultimate K-Man. Thank you, Puerto Rican 360. And thank you for all of you guys that always show your support. I truly, truly am grateful. I can't even explain how much more grateful I am, but you guys will see it through the growth of the platform. So, please subscribe, hit the up like button, notification bell. So every time I go live, you'll be notified. And even if you don't too care for the content, you could tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend, and you already know. Peace.